I've been pastor of Grace Church now for 28 years. It seems as though it was just yesterday. And I came from Portsmouth, Virginia, pastor of the historic Zion Baptist Church. There I had served for 9 years. There was a neighboring pastor 1 block away of a Lutheran church. And he said, "You are going to Germantown. My seminary is just down the street from where your church is." And so, arriving at Philadelphia and at Grace Church, I discovered the library at LTSP. And every week I was there checking out 10 to 12 books per week in preparation of sermons. And that was my introduction. And from then on, the rest is history. At some point, I was invited to be a part of the UTI committee. However, one of the founders, which is Reverend Andrew Willis, he and I were undergraduate students together at Virginia Union University. Our paths were separated. I went to Andover Newton Theological School in Massachusetts. I pastored 2 churches there before returning to Virginia. And then coming to Philadelphia, I reunited with Dr. Willis. And I found out about his involvement with UTI. I have seen myself as a support to Utica, as an advocate. My role has been a role of advocacy. Utica is a part of the seminary. It's not a substandard part. It's not a stepchild, but it is a significant part that, in our opinion, enhances the relevance of the seminary in today's culture. My role, after being invited as a member of the committee, I was, I think Dr. Reverend Janet Jenkins Sturtevant was chair, and it was a pleasure to work with her. Little did I know that I would be her successor. When Preaching with Power began, I do believe that I was one of the initial pastors that was sought to host. And the first preacher was Dr. Samuel DeWitt Proctor, former chair of the Peace Corps, former pastor of Abyssinia Baptist Church in New York, New York, former president of Virginia Union University, and former president of A&T in North Carolina, and a fellow Virginian and a fellow Norfolkian. We had shared the same home. So it was a pleasure to host him. That was an introduction to me. And of course, hosting that initial service, I became hooked. The church has relevance because Christ has relevance. The church enables people to cope in spite of sociological ills and sociological hardships. The church increases personhood and character and faith and courage. All of these are needed. The church also offers pastoral counseling, and it has a ministry of referral, which is very important. The church inspires. It inspires young people. It inspires the youth. It gives hope to the older people. It's the most intergenerational institution in society, and it is the oldest institution in society. So it does have relevance. It has relevance that God, it continues to call persons to ministry. He continues to call laity to Christ. He continues to Let his presence be known even in the fellowship of the local church, which is independent of size. Size has nothing to do with the relevance or the effectiveness or the fervor or the faith or the teaching. One of the major challenges of today's church, especially in the urban community, is the rise of non-Christian faiths and the rise of non-faiths, period. So we have an anti-church culture. And for the church to be very secure in forging forth, the challenge is due to economic crises. It's due to the fact that we're no longer having full-time pastors as we once had or enjoyed because of the financial crunch. Denominationalism has been tabooed, or there's a wooing away from denominationalism and missions as we have once known it. And so these are challenges. The challenge has always been and continues to be, especially in the urban setting, the value of a trained ministry, the value of a professional ministry, the value of seminary in the life of the church. And so we're constantly defending, we are constantly demonstrating, we are constantly proving that God deserves the best. And he deserves the best in leadership, he deserves the best in training, he deserves the best in lay leadership, in the training of professional leadership, and church organization, community organization, and the challenges are ever before us. The economic crunch is real. The declining denominationalism is real. The lack of funds for mission is real. And even the ability to afford seminary training is real. So these are challenges that face us today, and yet technology is rising. The traditional forms are not all need to be looked at because they don't speak to today's culture when we think in terms of the technological advancement in medicine, in housing, in education, in politics, in industry, and so forth. And all of that has an impact on the church with its challenges. And so we're questioning our relevance. The world questions our relevance. And of course, in self-evaluation, we question our effectiveness. I do see a future for LTSP. I see a future for Utica. I see continued growth. I can see with new blood coming on the trustee board, new blood coming on the advisory committee, new students coming aboard, we are able to be stretched. And of course, we always want to be on the cutting edge. And as long as there is an openness, that gives us hope for a brighter future. Now, we have UTI because of the openness of the institution. And 30 years now, we look back and we say, praise God for the openness. And we want to continue to be open because with the openness comes continued growth.